Shio, welcome back to another video. In this one, I'll be showcasing Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. Now, Marnie's Grimmsnarl has Shadow Bullet, which does 180 base and 30 damage to an opponent's bench mon, and it also has the ability Punk Up, which allows you to put Darkness Energy on any of Marnie's mons, which in this case is only the Impidimp line. Now, why that's so great is because we can freely play Darkness Energies onto the monkey from our hand without worrying about rationing those energy. We also have the Froslass in play, which can kind of be a hindrance at times, but with the Munkidori, it actually helps really focus in damage counters on the opponent and really get rid of mons from the bench, which is why these three have great synergy. Now, we're also running the Baru because Baru is just a great way to start any match, really, to kind of buy yourself some turns. The goal of this deck is just to get Impidimp from turn 1 and try to accelerate it. And we have the Blood Moon as a failsafe, which to be honest with you does not even come into play in the matches that we played. We have the Shaman to protect the Snorrunts and the monkeys from opponents. And another downside of this is having one Morgrem. I was thinking about moving a rare candy for another Morgrem because it does get prized quite often, and with Barus in play sometimes you can't really get the rare candy in. Now, this deck of course has 3 Spike Myth, which allows you to bring any of Marnie's Pokemon from your deck into your hand, which comes into play a lot. That being played with Secret Box over here does allow you to bring Spike Myth into your hand in a tough situation, but because there are 3, it's not really hard to pull one just by top decking. TMD Evolution does also play a role as we are spreading a lot of damage counters, so if you get a good turn, you can de-evolve the opponent and just get rid of basic forms, especially if they do rare candy. In terms of trainers, you have the Arvin, the Iono, the bosses, the professors. These are pretty good foundations for any deck. Counter catchers, I don't really gotta explain those. We do only have one Buddy because we have the Spike Myth for the Impidimp, and the Buddy really is mainly just for the Snorra or Baru if it's really necessary. Aside from that, we have Nest Balls mainly for the Munkidori, and if Nest Balls fails, we also have the Stadium of Artisan, which again, Secret Box can play into. And if you've seen the title, we went undefeated in this one, which is the first time on the channel. This deck can be quite a nuisance if everything goes right for you, and it's not hard to make that happen considering the trainers really bring everything into your hand that you need. With all that being said, I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so I did opt to go second here, and that's pretty ideal because I did start with the Butter. I did also mulligan, so he is going to get an extra card out of this, but that's not too much of an issue. Spike Myth, starting with Spike Myth is also good because as you saw, the decks do run a lot of Spike Myth. I believe it's 2 or 3 if I remember correctly. So I can just get this up and then get my Impidimps in. And with the Arvin, I can actually rare candy into Grimmsnarl almost immediately. But unfortunately, he does have the Budu in play. I am going to get the other monkey up because monkey is pretty crucial, especially if we do end up getting Snorrunts in here as well, which we also have a Froslass. So this is a pretty good start, especially for a first game. We're just going to get that in. I'm going to Arvin for the rare candy here. I know he can potentially Iono, and of course he does have the Budu. I'll get a devolve just in case he does, if he rare candies, I'll have that in the back. But for now, actually what I will do, no, I can't, actually, yeah. I'm gonna get rid of the devolve immediately for the energy, put them on the monkey each turn, and then of course when I do evolve the Grimmsnarl, then I will have his abilities ridiculous. I can just throw on energy on him anyways. So with this, with the monkey, I have the threat of just KOing his Baru. Is it next turn? No, yes, next turn actually, because I remove the damage counter and then I attack with 10 again, and then that puts me in a fine position. And of course he is gonna Itchy Pollen, but I do have the Spike Myth to get my Morgrem in play. So pretty decent position. Of course he did get his Dracloak right away, which Dracloak can be he's pretty good utility wise. Okay, he's getting it ready immediately. That's pretty interesting actually. Now I was thinking, is he gonna evolve into Dragapult? But he just evolved. This is his first turn as well. Well, his third turn, but you get the point. I'm not gonna keep fixing myself. Yeah, he is just powering it up. So I'm assuming he's gonna have the Dragapult in his hand. So if I could potentially get an Iono here, that would be pretty nice, which I don't have. Okay. Unfortunately, I got another Froslass and not a Snorrunt. So I'm just going to go with the play that I said. I'll just get a Morgrem in here. And then if he or I Iono, that's fine as well. He cannot KO the Impidimp or the Morgrem now with Dragapult attack. So I'm not too stressed about it, to be honest with you. And yeah, so let's see how this goes. Butter was gone, so I can use my items again, and he can't yet. Of course, I'm assuming he's gonna KO the Butter. I don't see him bosses ordering on truth, or counter. He could potentially counter if he does counter catcher. That is actually kind of problematic. I'll be honest. That gets rid of my Morgrim and Butter, I'm assuming, and he does have, you know, Dracloak as a draw engine. So let's just see how much momentum he can build up. Throwing, yeah, that was just expected, to be honest, and that's it's not the worst case scenario. Now he does 2-hit KO my Grimmsnarl, but at the same time, I'm trying to think. So if he does 200, I'll have 120 left. At the air move 60, I'll have 180. 203, yeah, he KOs him no matter what. But so do I. And if I get the upper hand here, okay, I actually don't see Lucky Helmet very often. But if I'm attacking him first, okay, no, he's just gonna go straight for it, and the 60 doesn't matter. It actually helps me, if anything, because again, of course, I have the 2 monkeys that can move those damage counters around. He's just gonna go all in on one. I think he realizes it doesn't make a difference. So this does put me, I would say, in a decent position. Rare candy was not even useful, but what I can do, wow. What I can do here is, of course, do this. I'm gonna Spike Myth for my other Impudimp. So this deck can halt itself sometimes because it runs one Morgrim, but thankfully in this case it didn't. And I do have the rare candy in my hand to get that up the next turn. Now, hopefully I do have a Buddy Buddy, which I should have looked into when I went through my deck there. Whoops. Is this stupid? I don't think this is stupid because he just gets KO'd. Oh, I don't have, I just realized, oh no, yeah, okay, this app be bugging sometimes. So I do have, yeah, he's gone, not a problem. I'm not sure if Lucky Helmet procs when you attack them from the bench. We're gonna find out right now. I don't think that it does. We're gonna find out. This, no proc. This does put me in a pretty good position, in a great position. If he has no other bench, which I don't see him not having, then we're fine, to be honest with you. We just straight up win, and it'll be a quick first match. We haven't had one of those yet on the channel, so that would be a pretty good feeling. He does get the Buddy Buddy, pretty expected. I wasn't expecting him to have nothing, especially with the amount of cards that he had in his hand. I'm just curious as to why he didn't play earlier. Maybe he just got that off the top deck. Now, this is also a Charmander, well, Charizard deck, so that is pretty interesting. That does make my Snorunt a little bit more useful. So hopefully I can get one of those. I am thinking of Ionoing. Oh well, there you go. I didn't really have no cards in my hand to utilize. So this is perfectly fine, even though I'm getting less cards. I do get the secret box. Secret box can be useful here. And of course with his attack, I also do have a third monkey in play. Clefairy is not really a problem. I don't have any psychic weaknesses, nor do I have any dragon types, so it's not an issue. Now I do want to get rid of that Charmander before he gets working, which I will definitely be able to do now. So I'm interesting. So yeah, I think it's looking like I got a secret box and get myself a rare candy if I don't pull it right now, which I don't, and I don't need the Ultra Ball just yet, so I can get rid of these 3. I do believe I have another boss's order, especially because I pulled that one out of my prize. So let's see what I can get here. I have 2 of them. Alright, that's fantastic. So I am going to get the rare candy. I'm also going to... I got rid of my energy. I didn't get rid of my energy. Alright. I'm going to also get Spike Myth in the event that he does get rid of it. I don't really need that right now. I don't need a Stadium in general too. And then Supporter. Now I'm thinking I could have bosses order in my hand again. Also potentially the Iono. But I do think the boss's order gives me more utility. So I'm just going to go with that. And I didn't have the Buddy Buddy yet. Oh, I did have the Buddy Buddy. Alright, I mean, I don't need that right now. Of course, getting this other Grimmsnarl up is pretty ideal. Or I guess, honestly, I would say mandatory borderline. Because just to have that threat in the back. Now, I don't see the point of removing... Okay, I had too much energy. I don't see the point of removing the damage counters off of my main Grimmsnarl. So I might just remove all of this on the bench one so I could just keep my momentum going, to be honest with you. Or have it as a major threat. So I'm getting rid of this Charmander. I'm not even going to play around with the Charizard, especially with the rate that I'm getting prize cards right now. I think this is the best course of action. And he is going to be on the back foot. He might put up the... I'm thinking Clefairy potentially. Because it tanks a hit, but of course I do have the monkeys here as well. And that goes the same for Fez. So I don't see how he could even come back from this, to be completely honest. He could have rare candy Dreepy, Dragapult. And there's my other Spike Myth. Alright. And I got the Iono anyways. Iono would be obviously detrimental to me right now, but I do have everything in play right now. I didn't get the Froslasses up, but obviously it's not an issue at all. The way he brought up the Dreepy makes me think he might have a rare candy, or maybe he's hoping for a rare candy. This can also be just straight up a forfeit, a concede. Fez can pull. Okay, so there's the Dragapult. And the thing is, I do have another. Now maybe I should have gone Arvin. Because the thing is, I could just get the Devolve as well. He's not going to be able to attack me. He got rid of his Sparkling Crystal, so I'm not worried right now. He's going to... Jet Headbutt is fine. He doesn't kill, obviously. What I could actually do... No, I just win anyways. Because there's no way for him to KO me with one attack, from what I see so far. And I could just Boss's Order the Fez in, call it a day. You know, use my monkeys, put the damage counters on it. Let's see, maybe he's searching for something. I'm thinking of Counter Gain, but I think Counter Gain only removes colorless energy. He could do that as well. That's fine. That doesn't really change anything for me. I do have the rescue board in hand. So again, I'm not really stressed about this. Now, I think he's banking on the fact that I don't have Boss's Order, and that's why he's going for it right now. I mean, in these games, depending on what you draw, you really can pull up the craziest comeback. But this is not one of those situations. Honestly, this has just been a steamroll. I haven't gotten one of those, so this is a pretty good feeling. I can see him conceding any second now once he realizes what's going down, but I only need to do this one time, and he is gone. All right, absolutely fantastic first game. This doesn't matter. Absolutely fantastic first game. Couldn't have asked for it to run any smoother. Of course, I did have a great hand to start with. I did get pretty lucky, so that's fantastic. So I'm going first this game, and starting with the Snow Run, which is funny because we didn't get it last turn. See how that goes. But we do have a secret box in our hand, and it's Team Rockets. Like, Team Rocket, of course, is just a big nuisance. They do have the grass, which I am weak to for sure with the Grimmsnarl. Mewtwo can give me easy prize cards, but it's the Spite Ups that's really an issue. And they tend to get the Spite Ups very often. Now, I'm thinking about secret boxing and getting everything from turn 1. I think that's just the best course of action to really keep him on his toes. Now, I don't think... So, I'm going to secret box. I don't think there's no any reason to think about it. I'll get rid of these two. And I'll get rid of the Professor's Research since I'm getting everything I need anyways. So, what I'm going to do here is... I think... I do have the rare candy in play. So, first and foremost, I have all 3 Spike Myths. That's interesting. Let me see what Pokemon I have. I do have my Morgrim, and I do have 2 Grimmsnarl. So, and 3 of these, 2 Frostlass. There's 1 that's benched. That's fine. I am going to Buddy. Or potentially I could get a Nest Ball. Oh god, I'm running out of time. I could get a Nest Ball and get my Monkey. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do because I do have the other. I'll get the Arvin and my tool. Oops. Done. Chill. Alright, so that was my last tool. I didn't check if I had rescue board. The time crunch really got me. I'm going to go for the Monkey here anyways. That's great. And a Spike Myth will get me my Grimmsnarl next turn, and I could just start swinging. And of course, with Shaman in play, he is going to protect his bench. But with her being in the active spot, she's going to get knocked out anyways, if everything goes well. Now, I might have fumbled by not getting the rescue board, but I guess that's what Arvin is for. So I'm not too stressed right now. I think this is a decent position to be in. And well, there you go. Okay, we are on a hot streak right now, so I'm hoping good for this. Maybe we get a first run on a video. Now, we are going first, and I do start with the Budu. I also have a secret box in my hand. We're running into a Feraligatr deck. That's actually so interesting. I'm just gonna go straight for this right now. I'm not even gonna think about it, to be honest. I'm gonna get the Munkidori in. Yeah, I'm gonna get the Munkidori in, and then I'm also going to secret box here. Now, this part might be a throw. I might be getting a little too ahead of myself, but I do want to hit the ground running. I'm gonna get the Spike Myth in. I don't want him to take too much advantage of the Artisan there. 2, I'm gonna get the rescue board just in case he does gust me to somebody else. And then item, I think I want to go for the Buddy, so I can get the Snorunt in. Now, or I could, yeah, I was thinking of getting the rare candy and then, you know, using the Spike Myth to really give me the oomph, but I don't even have the Buddy. Wow. Okay. So I think rare candy is the best option here. Now I could have also nest balled into the Snorunt, but right now this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give this to the monkey just off rip because we don't want to play no games in terms of Ionoing. Now I could have just thrown my ace spec there. So let's see what he decides to do with this information. Now he basically knows my whole hand anyways. Next turn I can Artisan for a Snorunt and then Spike Myth for, oh no, I cannot do that because, can I do that? Yes, I can. I forgot I can use 2. You know what's crazy? Didn't we run into the Grimmsnarl in the last video? And we were talking about how we wish that you're not allowed to do that. Here I am playing that same deck and I'm about to do the same thing. So call me a hypocrite. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. I still think it's stupid. Don't get me wrong. But if you have the opportunity, doesn't mean that you shouldn't take it. Words of wisdom. So of course, he's just going to want to get as many Feraligatrs in play as possible. This is interesting because Mimikyu can potentially be a slight threat. However, I do have Monkey. I actually might even want to, oh my lord. Oh my god. Okay, I get my Spike Myth in, and I do get an Impidimp. And I do have the Arvin for the rescue board or rare candy. So you know what? I can't even complain. I genuinely cannot complain. This is pretty good for me. It's basically what I had before. Not too worried about this. I did call it though. I did end up calling it, but it's not an issue. He does get the Croconaw, and he does have Relicanth, which is fodder for my Snorunt. There goes the Grimmsnarl as well. So I'm gonna get the other monkey in play. I actually do want to check how many energies that I have as well. I do have another monkey here. I have 3 Frostlasses, pretty good, and I have 4 energies left. So unless I pull one out of here, I don't think that I'm gonna be taking advantage of 2 Impidimps. However, I am going to make him feel like I can, because I think that playing with the opponent's mind is just as important as actually playing the game. Now, of course, you really can't see the opponent's face and their reactions. However, this does, you know, it doesn't give him something to single all his attention onto. And if you guys just saw, Morgrim is also in there, so that's a little bit of an issue. Well, we'll see how many rare candies we have. We know we have at least 1. Now, I want to know what he's going for. Does he even have the Feraligator? Of course, he did just evolve the Croconaw, so this one's not going anywhere. But if he gets like a rescue board right here, I could be in a weird situation. At the same time, he can't boss his order and he can't counter capture. So if anyone's going down, it's Budu, and I have absolutely 0 issue with that. If I can find a way to also get the the Froslass, I feel like that would definitely put me in a great position. He is giving that to the Mimikyu. I'm actually pretty curious about that. Now, Monkey, I'm not worried about the Mimikyu too much. He gives it 2 energy, so I guess he is trying to retreat here? No? Oh, I forgot. I completely forgot. That's what these do, but I can't retreat. I don't care. To be honest with you, I do not care. Give me the rare candy. I do have my other rare candy. And give me the rescue board for down the line. Or I can even de-evolution, but nah. We're not going to play that game right now. Let me evolve my Grimmsnarl. And both of my monkeys do have damage counters on them. I mean, they do have energy on them. So, you know, I'm looking at it and I definitely got to improve my commentary because I don't know why I thought there was only 3 left. This is absolutely perfect for me. I'm just going to kind of threaten. I'm curious as to why he did not kill the Budu. I'm sure that he's trying to give himself momentum, and that's perfectly fine. Look, I have no issue with that because he's still not going to be able to use items, especially with my monkeys in play, until he one-shots the Budu. And when he does one-shot the Budu, I do have the Grimmsnarl in the back. What I actually might want to do as well is to start putting damage counters on this Crocodile, so he doesn't have just a brand new monster in the back ready to attack everything. I also do think he's definitely just looking for turns to get that Feraligatr in. Now, do I remember exactly what Feraligatr does? No. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't. I actually just... Oh, no, he gets rid of it. Okay, that's what he was going for. That's interesting. I don't mind this at all. Actually, I really don't. Because now I can just counter catcher. And then hopefully next turn, I could start Munkidoriing everything. Yeah. Give me this one. Even though he does have the energy over here. Now, I'm going to Arvin for a rare candy again. Oh, wow. I don't have the other Grimmsnarl. That's kind of wild. Alright. So I'm just going to profess this research, see what I can get out of this. There's the rare candy. 2 Iono's Boss's Order. Earthern Vessel Spike Myth. Alright. And I do have the other counter catcher. So depending on how this goes, I'm actually not too worried. I think Feraligatr has something like 180 HP. So I am going to want to do that. But next turn, I'll start putting damage on the Mimikyu as well. I don't think it protects him from effects, just attacks. Alright, I'm not worried about that. So there he is. And I have Boss's Order and counter catch. So if he does something crazy, gets rid of Amon, then there's no issue. There's the trolley. I'm assuming there's going to be at least a couple of Tordas. And there's the monkeys as well. Now, this is going to be a monkey mirror. Now, monkey mirrors is wild because I feel like when it comes to this, or I guess a little bit later into games, whoever gets rid of the monkeys first tends to win. Not even because of price guard, but because now you have damage concentration only one side. It's weird because I don't see that same exact dynamic when only one side has a monkey, but when they both do, it is kind of like that. So I am potentially going to want to focus in on them. I kind of do want to get rid of the Mimikyu just so I don't get stuck, because that's definitely happened. So I feel like everybody that's played this game before. So getting rid of the Mimikyu is my priority. And of course, getting rid of that Crocodile that already has 2 energy. Now, I also don't have a way of getting a Froslass. I don't know what it is. I really do want to showcase the Froslass because it's my favorite part of the game. There's the cape. The cape, of course, it's a double-edged sword. You know, plus 100 HP. You get an extra prize card. And this deck doesn't run any EXs anyways. So, I think that's how he gets his Feraligatr. I think also in this deck, running a Jamming Tower could potentially be useful. I know I do have my own rescue board, but it's like certain situations. I guess Jamming Tower can fit on any deck. I feel like that card is pretty versatile in terms of where you could place it. I'm curious as to what he's thinking about right now. Okay, so he doesn't have any more. Well, he got rid of a lot of retrieval cards. Let's see what. Remind me what you do during your turn. 5 damage counters. Excuse me, hello, thank you. This app is ridiculous. You may put 5 damage counters on this Pokemon. If you do 120 more damage. Okay. Alright. So he can one-shot. He can one-shot. Did not remember that's what that does. No, he can't. 120, no. He only does 280 right here. And he gets knocked out next turn. Yeah. He gets knocked out anyways because of my monkeys. Or I could just switch him in. Does that... Okay, let me think here. If I do 180, obviously that's not doing anything. 30, 60, 90. He's getting one shot anyways. However, if I bring Totodile in, and that's without even thinking, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring in the Totodile. I'm gonna put the damage counters all on the Feraligatr. So that puts him at 140, 170. So now he can't just jump into another Feraligatr, which that's of course that's fine by me. I'm not even That's exactly what I'm looking for. And he doesn't have any way of really attacking. I'm not sure if they run psychic energies on these decks. I'm sure they can just throw it in there for the Mimikyu to be a little bit more useful. But he needs a couple of turns to catch up right now. He does need a couple of turns to catch up. There's my other Grimmsnarl. Absolutely great. Couldn't have asked for anything better. So Rare Candy, Grimmsnarl now have 2 threats for sure. Still no way of getting that Froslass in. Froslass would have knocked out the Mimikyu by now. Artisan, understandable, completely understandable. However, I'm gonna use the Spike Method right back, and I'm hoping he got rid of how many stadiums? Another monkey. That's actually interesting. Okay, did he get rid of any stadium? Am I bugging? He did not get rid of any stadium. All right. I got rid of Artisan. That's correct. I had the Artisan. Night Stretcher, and the Cape. The Cape would have been very useful on the Mimikyu. It would have been very useful on the Mimikyu. Now, I have 3 bosses orders in this. I don't know if it's in my hand, in my deck or in my prize. Countercatcher. Who's he getting countercatcher? Alright. And I haven't used my rescue board either. Yes, I did. My memory is absolutely shot. So, this is not a horrible situation because I do have that energy in my hand. Just get rid of him. And, alright. So, I think my best course of action... That's 2, 4, 6. So that's all my energy. 7. My best course of action here is to just get rid of the Snorunt. I also get to kill the Totodile again. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to be relentless on the Totodiles because they are quite worrisome. I'm curious as to why he didn't use his main attack with the Feraligatr. He would have had me in a much worse position. And I'm not even in a bad position right now. I'm going to evolve my Impidimp right away. Do I have any energy left? I don't. Alright, and that's fine. That's fine. I was thinking about getting Monkey back in, but yeah. So this can be used for like Ultra Ball fodder if I ever end up getting Ultra Ball. Artisan. I'm gonna get the monkey in. I'm gonna do it because I feel like this just puts more threat onto him. I'm just gonna match his monkeys. His monkeys are useless right now. So just get rid of this Totodile. Of course, that Mimikyu is safe. Now, unfortunately, what this does mean, however, is that I have absolutely no way of attacking this Mimikyu at this point in time. And if it comes down to it, I'm probably going to have to Spike Myth. I forgot to get rid of the Artisan. A little bit of a misplay there for sure. But at the same time, that does give me a way to work with something. There we go. Now he gets the Darkness Energy on the Monkey. Of course, they have no damage counters. But what this also means is that... That's interesting. What this also means is that... He's stuck. My 4th Iono. This is like... It's like, please get rid of me. Okay, let me see if there's anything else I can take advantage of. Nope. Let's see, because I am giving him an advantage here for sure, but I am also just as stuck. Now, Professor's research is actually great. So is Arvid, depending on what I pull next. I'm just gonna put this on the Mimikyu and hopefully surprise him with the Froslass. And of course, you know, I can only imagine he is definitely expecting a Froslass, but that's literally what we need. Now we have 60, and then of course if he moves all 60 damage counters back onto me, actually he could get rid of the Snorunt. Could have been a little bit of a throw. So he has to play. I was gonna say he has to play more on the back foot than I do, which is not an issue. So there is the other Darkness Energy, and there's the 3rd. So now we are in a weird pickle. Now, before I profess his research, I think I do want to... Okay, Snorunt is gone. Right, if you can't tell, now I'm in my, oh god, kind of thinking mode. Snorunt is gone, and now I have no damage counters to really work with. I'm still going to Arvin. Alright, he's gonna play this game now. Kind of obnoxious, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I can respect it, but if it's your best course of action, guess what? It doesn't matter. Give me this, and that's a good game right there. So the last one was a little bit of an experimental deck, but that doesn't change the fact that we went completely undefeated with this deck. Now this deck is weird. I think there are better ways to really get what you need in terms of, or have what you need, like more grooms. I like the monkeys. The Froslass hasn't done anything this game. I really want to show it off. I do have a couple of other decks with Froslass, so we're gonna be showcasing more of that. But for today, that was the video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any suggestions for decks, I'd love to hear it. If you have anything that you think I can use to improve, I'd love to hear that as well. If you can hit that subscribe, hit that like, help me start growing. And thank you so much for watching once again. Have a great one.